Hi, my name is Tiffany with Rosenbaum Realty Group, and today I want to talk to you about hoarders. It is a disease and it's a problem, so let's discuss it. In 2010, I had an owner come to me and want me to manage his property. And as we discussed, one of the things on our PMA is to do inspections. He's like, I do not want interior inspections done. And I said, okay, but you need to understand the liability on this. I can do background checks, I can do rental history, and everything can look great. But if you don't do interior inspections, things can come up that you're not looking at, you're not seeing, and it can make a problem for the property. We decided not to do interior inspections so he could save $95. So in 2010, like I said, I had a phone call from the city. The city called and said, hey, I think one of our people in your property might have died. And I said, what? We have rent coming in, and we've actually had communication with this resident through email. And they said, well, we need to go do an inspection. I said, okay. So we opened up the door. Actually, before we opened up the door, we could smell the horrific smell. As we got to the door and unlocked the door, we opened it up, and it was something that only a movie could portray. As we walked in, there were boxes on both sides. There was this very little narrow walkway, and cats and urine and poop everywhere. Meaning we could barely walk in. We needed masks. The ammonia smell was so bad. And not only that, you could tell that there was a body rotting in the property. So our team stayed outside as the city went in and confirmed what they thought had happened. Not only did we have a very sad situation where the elderly lady died in the property, but we had a hoarder situation that I have never seen so bad in my entire life. We had a hoarder situation, we had an animal situation, and we had a death in the property. And all these things take time and things that need to happen to make sure that we stick with regulations. So the city came and got the body. And when someone dies in the property, the estate usually takes over of whoever was on the lease to contact. Well, it was the city on this person's property, and this person did not have any kin or relatives that we could contact. So step one is we had to document everything. And when you have a hoarder situation and a smell like that, it's actually really hard to do. But we did document everything. And as our hazmat team went in, there were dumpsters outside. We had 5 dumpsters loads come out of an 800 square foot property. The hoarder situation, when someone becomes a hoarder, they don't want to get rid of anything. And to get a visual, stacks of newspaper up to the ceiling, boxes, plates, anything you can imagine was stacked all the way to the ceiling, where there was only this one little bitty line that you could walk through. So as my team got in, we started dumping from the front door. As we walked in, loads and loads of dumpsters. And it was such a sad situation, because if you think about this is why an inspection is so important, because you can't determine when someone is going to become a hoarder. You can't determine when someone is going to have a disease or have a disability. You can't determine all these things. But an interior inspection can determine, if you do this every 6 months, like we recommend, can see things that are happening. Because a hoarder situation like that does not happen overnight. It takes time. And this is why an interior inspection every 6 months is so important. We could have started corrective action with the resident and given notices and contacted the city and certain things that could have helped to prevent a situation so horrifying. So when a property manager comes to you and says, hey, an interior inspection costs $95 or $150 every 6 months, I highly recommend making sure you're doing interior inspections so that when a situation comes up, you can start taking corrective action